Good evening. We are about to start in a few minutes. Okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our second session today. We're happy to have you here with us today. And even though we have our first session last week, we discussed what is data science and also the applications of data science in our modern world. Um, Today, I believe there are many of you who are new to AP Data Science. So let me briefly introduce about AP Data Science before we start our session today. So good evening again. My name is Tang, and I am the representative of AP Data Science. And AP Data Science is a newly established organization at APU with the mission of creating a collaborative learning platform for students who are interested in data science and also business analytics. And it is our honor to have Professor Cluster William as our supervisor. As you also know that our university offers business courses and social study courses. So we want to have a platform for those who are interested in something more about science and more about technology to join and learn together. So our four main goals here is the first one is connecting. So when you join our AP Data Science, you can connect with people who have the same interest in data science and also in business analytics as you. And you can learn from the sessions, weekly session on Thursday, and also you will have opportunities to meet different guest speakers every week. So you can learn from their experiences in their industry, in their organization. And also we are here to collaborate on some exciting projects. And later on, you can put it in your portfolio, and maybe you can show it to your employers to prove that you have some experience working with data science and you know how to perform machine learning later on in your future. And last but not least, solving is our most important goals in the AP Data Science because we are not here to learn and connect, but we are here to try to find some useful solutions, useful things to offer to the society to help make our community a better place. And also, as you also know, there are now many applications of data science that are being used widely in our world to help treat the cancers or to optimize business activities. So I hope that in the near future, maybe from the next semester when we have the foundation of data science, we can actually work together on a project or something to create some impact to our society, or at least at APU. Okay. So let me briefly talk about our agenda today. So every session will have two parts. The first one is data talk, where you will learn from guest speakers about their organization, about their jobs, and we invite people who are working in big companies like Google and some financial companies, and also we have founders of our organization and startups that are working with big data to come and share with you their experiences. Then we have a brief Q&A session where you can freely ask them questions. And next we will have hands-on workshop. Um, this is the data science for beginners program. So you will learn a lot about data science, but it's not quite in depth. So we will actually go through the process of data science and introduce some very basic things about data science for you. And then we will encourage you to do yourself, go to some resources that we provide on the website so that you can learn more about the topics. Okay, so after the two main parts, we'll have a post-session survey. So we ask for your cooperation to help us improve our session. So today, I am happy to introduce a guest speaker who is going to talk about his organization and how his organization is working with data. And please welcome John Kim.
Hello, thank you, Nick. Hi guys. I see some few familiar names in our attendance today. So today I'm going to talk about my story about how I utilize the data and how it's being applied on our daily activities. And do you want me to share the slide, Nick, or?
I will click it for you.
Oh,
So
okay.
just say
Okay,
next.
so can you move the slide? Yeah, so this is my picture. I look a little bit different because I haven't had a haircut for a while. My name is John. I'm from, today I'm going to talk about understanding the problem and asking the right question for the problem. Can you go on a next slide? So this is a little bit thing about me. I'm from Korea and I lived in America for a while. And I'm here in Japan and I also lived in China for a while as well. Right now, I am majoring in finance and accounting. Um, I've been I've been into a few case competition, currently in Bloomberg finance competition as well. I've done several lots of extracurricular activities, TA for the introduction to PLT, peer leader training, and APU student ambassador. And currently, most importantly, I'm working on APU Times. Now, what is APU Times? Next. So AP Times, as you can tell by the name, it's a news media. We are trying to create such a platform for everyone to be more connected or get more information. Initially, we didn't implement much of the data into our problem finding because it was very direct and we could kind of instinctively know that this is a problem where we have so much information on a campus, off the campus, but we have to go on a different channels to find all the information like campus terminal or office website. Every office has different website. And we have lots of different circles, about 80s by now, and every circle do their own promotion, but there's no collective effort to do it on the one setting or to one big audience. So it was always been just everywhere. So it was difficult for the students to reach the diversity that we always tell our students. So that's why AP Times was created. But I'm going to talk about how how the data went into that problem setting later. So that's why, and can you move on to the next slide? So this is a little bit of a diagram of how we set the problem and how we're trying to work it on. So we have an office and faculties and students and made three different composite of the campus. And faculties and office, they're doing pretty good job of having like communicating with each other. But to be really honest, student office, the one of the way is having a establishing a circle or talk to them directly. But that's on an individual level. So it's really hard for office to get collective idea of how students are doing, and that goes same for the faculties as well. And for the communication between students and faculties, we have classes and we can communicate seminars and other events like this because we have Professor Cluster. Like, we can communicate when we have a question. But really, it's really hard for students to have that one platform where everything is all intact so that we can communicate not only to office faculty, but also to ourselves. Because one of the biggest problem is that every group are almost segregated because they have no means to reach out to each other. So that is why we came up with AP Times. So next one, please. So right now, to be real short, our present goal is to being a bridge for each groups where we can reach out to like this AP data science club or the seminar, Nick reached out first, but we would like to promote them to others so that all the other people on campus who are interested in data science can reach out to them and then submit their application and be involved in this. And that goes for other activities, other events, other communities as well. If they have a multicultural week, they can do that. They can let us know. And there was a really a fun event from a Vietnamese community where they were looking for applicants to submit the memes, and they will select the best memes and give them a prize. So those kind of little bit fun events we are also supporting. And we believe that it is one of the best way to cultivate the multiculturalism in APU. So our future goal is, of course, becoming a main media so we can have a lots of audience. That's more effective, that's more efficient way. So can you move on to next? So I have a link here. I'm not sure if you can access it, Nick, but what we've done is we have a website. It's not as well made as a data science webpage, but can you click it? Can you go in there? Oh, maybe not.
I think I cannot accept.
Okay, that's also fine. We have a website. We've been making videos about other different circles and events, and we are creating articles and all sorts of things. We're also promoting other events on our Facebook account. So that's what we've done so far. And now we're getting bigger because we are having more applicants to who wants to partake in this journey. Can you move on to next? So main issue, main talk, understanding a problem. How did us find the problem that what we need to focus on? So what we took two major big surveys and deriving the cluster in a survey answer was the biggest part of setting our goals. How we did it, I didn't put the screenshot of the survey because that has names and stuff. So I'm just gonna explain by the words. So we took a survey for everyone. We put it online and we asked our connection friends, whoever on the campus, because back then we could go on a campus. So we were just asking them to fill out, what do you think about APU? What do you think about how you're doing in terms of intercultural communication? And what kind of effort do you put in to reach out and know more stuff and be on your own journey? And one of the interesting things we found on the survey was that more than half of people were not very satisfied with their activities or their effort. They felt like some of the countries were gathered into their own community group, their own nationalities. And it's really hard for them to reach out because everyone is like that. Also, that goes for the domestic students as well, because they felt like they're also in their own domestic group, but they do have this thing that domestic students are more not expressive, whereas international students are more expressive. So they had a little bit of a communication difficulties. But by doing a survey, we figured out that those are the problem. And the most important problem was that they are eager to communicate. They're eager to reach out. They're eager to do something with people. But they didn't know. They didn't know how. They didn't know where. They didn't know where to go, do what to do. So that is why we realized that there are so many events that is happening on the campus, and people just don't know where to go or what is happening. So that's one of the things we've done a survey and figure out. But after that survey, we made AP Times. But one of the biggest problem was to find a target. We initially want to set the target for everyone, all the students in APU, but it didn't really work out that well because that was very vague and not everyone was interested in everything. For example, data science has really nice target of people who want to learn about data science or have a project about it or apply their learnings into project. But for AP Times, it's news for everyone. Who is everyone? Is everyone interested in what kind of news? Do you want an event? Do you want a information, or what do you want? So that is why we had to take another survey of finding out the problem, finding out the needs of our audiences. So we've done that, and that is how we could utilize our survey technique to gather more information. And I would say that is related data and analyzing the data. And that goes same for the circle as well. We have over 100, we used to have 100 different circles. Now they're cut to 80s and nobody knew about it. And we are reaching out to circles one by one to figure out what kind of thing you want. And it's basically survey, but I just wanted to put circles there because there are lots of them and people still not know about all of them. And same for events. So can you move on to the next one? So why data? I've our group AP Times already done a data analysis and we've already took a survey and maybe that's enough. But no, we realized that as soon as we finished our first initiative of working with data, we realized that it's more than effective. It's much powerful than we think. As long as we can we have a power to do it. We have a knowledge to do it. And right now we are working with data more towards driving our journal ideas. And example for that would be COVID-19. We took a survey of how people are dealing with overseas. Some people are stranded overseas. Some people are maybe still in Beppu or their hometown, their house in Japan. So we wanted to know what are they doing? Where are they at right now? And we wanted to write an article about it. And taking survey really helped us out because now we can see all the positioning or how people are dealing with it. So we can find some things that we could help them as a journalist. For example, what kind of thing you can do when you're in-house all day. What kind of thing? Maybe mental health is important for you guys, or there are different websites that you can utilize to have fun while you're still inside. Those kind of ideas were driven from our surveys, and it worked pretty well. And also, data is not only useful for driving our journal ideas, but also it supports our journals with numbers. I mean, the supporting journals with the number is very important, but when you have the knowledge or the skills to do that in various ways, or the visualization, it's much powerful because you can generate your own visualization. You can drive your own ideas looking at the data. And that has been serving very well for AP Times. So that is how we set up our problem. And this is also how we use our data to our daily activities. And that will be it for the talk. So if there is any question, you can ask, but I kind of doubt it.
If you have any question for John, you can unmute yourself and ask. Okay, maybe I will start with the first question. So I'd like to ask John, what is the difficult thing when you try to gather data? And yeah.
Well, there are two different kinds of data you can get, right? First is, obviously primary data, and the second one is the secondary data. And for us, we worked more with the primary data, and that is difficult because you have to actually reach out and collect the data from people. And some people, first of all, it's really hard to find people nowadays offline, and online, we have a little bit of a validity problem because we don't know who's really doing the survey, right? So for the primary survey, primary information like that, those are difficult to filter out what's valid or not. But the secondary data, I often find that one of the useful informations are requires payments. They're not free. I mean, I get it. It takes lots of effort and time, so they are requiring the compensation of it. But for students, we don't have that much of a budget, right? So it would be nice if we have it for free, but we don't. So as a journalist, we find that as a really big problem to support financially.
Thank you, John.
Yep.
So as a founder and representative of APU Thames, what do you think about the importance of data science and programming?
In data science, right?
Right.
Well, one thing about the data science and programming is that there are lots of tools that you don't have to know programming to visualize.
Mhm.
And when lots of people are thinking about data science, they think that, oh, I have to learn Python, I have to learn R, and I have to do a bunch of different things to understand everything like that. That's more like a perfectionism. But in reality, you can use like Tableau or so many different applications to make the data and visualize it. So really the fundamental understanding might help for your own uses, but it really depends on what you want to do. And for people like you, Nick, you might want to learn Python and Pandas, and that really helps the fundamental and really enable you to doing everything from the scratch. But for people who just wants to have a general idea of it and wants to visualize the data and then do more of analysis, I don't think that's necessary for everyone. But um, that means to not be able to use the knowledge yourself, like writing the code itself, but you should be able to understand. That's my point.
Right. Exactly. So data science is a broad field of study. So there are so many tools that you can use, and our purpose of organizing this program is also to give our participants the broad ideas of what is data science and what is the topic that they are most interested in, and then they will by themselves they will learn more about that particular topic. Thank you so much, John, for joining us today.
No problem. Maybe I can add one more thing
Okay.
that I wanted to say. So the whole presentation was about finding your problem, finding what to do with the data. And we often find ourselves puzzled in the midst of everything that we don't know the question. We don't know what to ask. We have a data, but we don't know what to drive. So, well, fortunately for me, I was able to figure out my problem was, but for others, it might be difficult. So I just want to accentuate on the part that it is really important to know what kind of problem you want to solve and know what kind of things you want to drive using the data, because it is not a magical tool. You have to utilize the tool by knowing what you're doing. So that's it. And thank you for listening. Thank you, Nick, for inviting.
Thank you, John, for joining us. Um, so now let's move on to our second part, hands-on workshop for today. And we will go through two main sections. The first one is Python basics, and the next one is data preprocessing. And I want to, before starting this workshop, I want to quote Professor Cluster advice, um, is that if you want to be a good data scientist, you should know programming language. So today's session is about Python basics. So I expect that all of our participants today have already installed the Anaconda Navigator and also installed Python 3 on the computer. So if you haven't installed those software, please now go to our website, go to the thread that I posted 2 days ago and try to install those websites because if you don't have those websites, it's impossible to do the hands-on workshop of today's session. Let's check our process. As you can see, we have 6 sessions in total, and we already finished our first session talking about what is data science and also the applications of data science in our life. So today we will talk about Python basic and data preprocessing using pandas and NumPy libraries. I will talk more about Panda and NumPy libraries later. All right, so today we also have some hands-on exercise where you can actually write your program in Python, and we have some supporter today to help you with this exercise. So let's first talk about the theory. So the first thing that you should know is the data type. So in Python, we have four main data types. The first one is string. It is the sequence of characters that you can use. Like you can think it as text. Any kind of text is called string in Python. And the next one is integer. It is the number, as you can see. And the next one is float. Float include the integers and also the numbers in between integer. So any number with the decimal point is float. And the last one, we have Boolean. And this is the special data type. There are only two values, true and false. It is used mainly in your conditions, and yeah, later on you will know about that. So here is the example of these data types. So you can actually check the data type by using the type function. In the hands-on practice, we will do that. So just focus on the theory now. Then we have the basic functions that you will use most of the time. You have a print function to print the output of your program. So if you don't use the print function, then your program will not produce any output. And so this is very basic and important for your Python program. And also the next function that I want to mention is input function. So let's think about when you go to a website and they ask you to sign up, and or you want to be a member of that website, then you need to enter your name and enter your emails, also the password. And the input function lets you do that. You create some box that asks user to enter their information there. And the last one that I want to mention now is the length function. So this is used to check the length of your inputs in that function. So for example, here we have data as our input. So actually the output will be 4 because there are 4 characters in that input. And next we have Python comparison operators. It is basically the same as mathematics. So you have equal, not equal, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So one special point to remember here is that the not equal one and equal, you need to use two equal sign, because when you use only one, it will the Python will understand that you are this is the expression you use for the expression or to assign some value to your variable. So remember to use.
Tan.
Hello.
Hello, Tan.
Yep.
How do you say like there is 4 characters in the input? I can see 3, but could you please tell me how did you count it 4 in the input?
Are you talking about length?
No. I'm talking about the input. You have said like there is 3 character in the input, but 4.
No. I said that in the length you will have 4 characters. So data.
All right.
What I said. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. All right. So continue. Beside the basic operators, we have Boolean operators in Python. It's like probability and statistic. So actually, you can combine Boolean operation. So if your two expressions are true and true, then the Boolean will evaluate the output as true. Otherwise, it will evaluate a false. So if you take a look at the A, B, and C here, the A, B, and C code variable, and you have an equal sign, and then you have numbers. So actually, you can assign variables to another variable, so like in the C equals A plus B. And then when you print the C, the output will be 15. Okay, so next, Boolean operators, as you can see. So since A is 5 and B is 10, the output of the first line of code will return true, since 5 is obviously less than 10, right? And for the next one, A is less than B, that is correct, but B is not greater than C, then the output will be false. And it's the same as the last one. It is C is greater than both A and B, so you will get the true output. All right, so up to this point, is there any question?
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Yes.
So
please.
If the output is false, does this mean the program maybe cannot be executed, or what? Like, what does it mean when the output is false and is true? Like, what does it mean?
Okay, so thank you for your question. So actually, Boolean operators, they have two input value, which is two output value, which is true and false. It's not when it return output as false, it's not mean that your program is not working. It just means that you are trying to get the answer of the condition. For example, if your variable A is 5 and B is 10, right? So you want to compare them, and you put A less than B. So you want to know is that expression correct or not? And you ask the Boolean operator to give you answer. So actually, we will have some practice. Then I will I will demonstrate on the Jupyter notebook later about how it works. Okay, later on I will show it on Jupyter notebook. Thank you. All right, so let's talk about data structures. In Python, we have 4 main data structures. And because we are working with some tools in data science, we need to know the structures of our program, right? So the first one is tuple. Just remember that it is immutable and can be concatenated. Later on, you will see how. And then list. The list is quite the same as tuple. However, the list can be mutable. And we have also set. Set is a type of collection, and it only allows unique elements. So for example, if you have double elements, when you run the program, it will reduce to only one. So you can think of set as set in statistic. And the last one, we have dictionary. Before that, I want to show you about the Venn diagram. So when you talk about set, for example, set A and set B, you can actually visualize it using Venn diagram as you use in probability and statistic. And you can actually find some relationships between two sets. You can find the unions, you can find the intersections. Yeah. Also, okay, so let's continue with dictionary. So dictionary is the combination of two elements, key and value. So the keys must be immutable and unique, which means that you can only have one key in one dictionary. The key should be unique in one dictionary. And you have values. The values can be immutable, mutable, or duplicates. No matters it is. So for example, you see the dictionary in the example, you have two cars, and the car one and car two in red, which they are keys, and you have Honda and Tesla are values. And for easier imagination, you can take a look at the table next to the example. So as you can see, we can visualize our dictionary in Python in table like this. It's much easier to understand, right? So for example, you want to collect some data of a student, and you have the keys name, university, major, class of, and then you have a value. So for example, you say values can be duplicates or mutable, right? So as you can see in the table, we only have data science as the value of the major key. But if I am a double majors, I can also put another major here. All right, so that's enough for theory. Now let's do some practice. Please opens up your Anaconda Navigator.
Excuse me, Than, I have a question before you continue.
All right.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Like, it's what is the meaning of concatenated? Like, I'm a bit confused.
Okay, so that means that you can combine. You can combine two tuple, yeah. Just like you add two elements together.
Okay, I see.
So you
Thank
have tuple one and tuple two.
Mhm.
You want to combine the tuple, and you can do that.
So combining them for like
Right.
and for merging information or
Yes, right. Merging information. Yes.
thank you very
Exactly.
much. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's open your Jupyter notebook on Anaconda Navigator. You should launch it, and now I will share my notebook with you. Let's name your notebook Session 2 Python Basic. So actually I prepared the outline here, but you can follow me.
Are we supposed to launch like Jupyter in the?
Yeah, Jupyter, yes, exactly. So if you was able to open the Jupyter, please say yes. In the participant, you can click yes, so that I know you already opened that software. Okay, so please say yes if you could open the program, the software. And I want to remind you that our program is data science for beginners, so we will cover a lot of things, but those are basic. So actually I will go very fast, and due to the time constraint, but I will try to write a summary and put it on our website.
Fun.
Yeah.
And I have opened the Jupyter, but the one you were doing right now, like session 2 Python basics, like I have got options like files, running, and clusters. So which one I should go for?
You can actually create a new folder on your desktop. Can you see an option desktop. I will show you here.
Yeah, I
You
can see.
see here, right? So
Yeah, right.
for example, you can go to desktop and create a file, a folder. So on the top right hand corner, you will
Yeah.
see new, and you choose a new folder. Okay, so
Okay.
for all right, so I can see so many people could not open Jupyter. If you have any trouble, just
Yeah, for me, I
um,
can't access that. I don't see where that like opening the new folder thing is.
but
I don't know.
could you open the Jupyter?
Yeah. I did. Like, yeah, I also have my files here. Like, I'm just like you did. I'm on desktop now. But
All
the
right,
problem is I
so
don't see where to open.
so if you want to create a new notebook,
Oh,
you
I got it.
click new and then you click Python 3.
Oh. So is this like maybe the file, is it going to be automatically saved in the folder that
Yeah.
Yes,
the folder?
exactly. Yeah, it will automatically save on your folder to your folder. Yeah. All right. So let's okay. Sorry. Um, Aulia and Matthew, do
Yeah, so I
you have any problem?
yeah, I
Yeah.
have downloaded the Anaconda one, but I don't see Jupyter.
Wait a minute. So move back to the PPT.
I put in all the details, like my name, and I made all of that, and I got the mail as well. But then I don't know what to do from there.
Could you um, could you open this navigator?
No. I'm,
I think
I have a navigator, but I don't know which one I should. It is a Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter something different launch. Which one? Notebook,
you
right?
should go to the notebook.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I went to templates.
All right. I think if you downloaded the software, then it should be.
But it's go to website back.
Yeah, exactly. It will
Go there.
let you to website. Yeah, exactly.
So like it will open in our default browser, and that's okay, right?
But
Yes, it's okay. That's
opening there's
okay.
another problem.
No, there's no problem with that. So
Maybe
totally
internet
fine.
connection.
Okay. So I think I should move on since most of our participants already open that Jupyter notebook. All right. So let's do it together. Oh no, not this one. Sorry. All right, so let's talk about the data types. So let's do this. So let's try put variable A equal to 5 and B equal to sorry, B equal to 20.
How do
Remember,
how do you do this? Like, how do you bring Python this thing into the Jupyter?
so your Jupyter notebook should run on Python. So I'm sorry, I couldn't get your question.
No, I mean we have opened the Jupyter notebook, but how can we bring Python into that?
or you can just write your code there, and it will automatically execute in Python.
Yeah, but we didn't find any sort of writable thing like this in Jupyter Notebook.
Oh, really? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
because we have created the folder the way you have said, but I can see like you have Python files in your folder, but we don't have that yet.
So
We need your this file to run
uh-huh.
similarly like you into our Jupyter Notebook.
So you was able to create a file like this, right?
We have used to create the folder the way you
Oh,
have
okay.
said. Now we need to see how you created this file so that we can bring it on into the Jupyter Notebook.
All right. So now you already have the folder, right?
Yeah, we
Okay.
have the folder.
So let's create a notebook. So you click the new button. You will see the option Python 3 here.
Python 3.
So yeah,
Yeah, we have got this. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
click that, and you will have a notebook.
Yeah, we have got a code line. Yeah, yeah. We have got like IN, and then we've got a bracket, and we've got a blinking cursor that we can write our code.
Right. Wait. So you have everything right like this, right? Because
Like you have got IN then 70, but I have like blank code.
oh,
string.
it's that's okay. That's
Okay.
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 Yeah, that's okay. So all right, no problem for that. Okay, let's try to write some code here. So for example, you assign a value of 5 to your variable A, and you assign B equals to 20.5. And for example, C is AP data science, like that, right? And you have variable D will be true. So, for example,
I'm sorry. For me, I still don't have like the data types and everything. So like my screen is totally different. I don't know why.
totally blank, right?
I don't have. Yeah, it's blank. Like
Because
I don't have.
I use Markdown to put it like that, but that's not important. So maybe I can show you how to
Okay.
do that. So if you click on now you have the code, right? The drop down option next to some buttons here. You will see the arrows, the up and down arrows. So now you are in code. But if you want to write some text like me, you will choose Markdown. So that actually you can write some text there, but that is not really important.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
try to focus on the code part.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so just follow my code. Or if you want a quick way to try to note something on your code cell, you can actually comment by writing like that. You use write that symbol, and then you can write anything you want there. Okay.
So if you use hashtag, then it will be like
Right.
used as our title or something.
Right. So if you put the hashtag there, it will become a comment. All right. So everyone gets the variables. Okay. So now let's say you want to check the data types of each variable. How to do that? So you use the type function. So and you put your variable inside the parentheses. And you run your code cell by clicking the run button, or you can use shortcut. If you are using MacBook, you can try to use shortcut Shift and Enter. I think it works well on Windows too. So shift and enter. And as you can see in my screen, the output is integer, right?
Yep.
Let's try B float and C string, right? And D. So if you check the D, it will returns Boolean. So there was a question about concatenate two variables. So for example, you have variable C here is string, right? So I want to make my variable D is also string. So I say AP data science, APU, right? At APU. So you can concatenate both of them using just easy like this. And you will see the output is AP data science at APU. But you will see here data science and the at it, you don't have any space between them. So you can actually add a space like this, right? So yeah. All right, moving on to basic functions. So for example, you want to print the variable C. So you want to print variable C, AP data science, right? So all you see now above is only output. You can only see that in your computer. So the users cannot see it. So what you do is you print the output by the function print, and it will print out the AP data science without the red output, something on the left. Okay, so for print, actually you can print directly from the function without assign your value to a variable. So you can actually do this. And it will returns the same thing. Okay, next, input function. So for example, you want to ask a user to enter their name. How can you do that? So
Me,
you can say
I have error here. How do we?
What
How
kind
do
of
I
error
solve
do
this?
you have?
Like it says like name error traceback or most recent call last. I don't know. I don't understand. I did follow the code like type A, B, C, C plus what plus D, and then I tried to print C, but I don't know why.
So I think for the next code cell, you should define the variable C again.
I also have the same problem when I
Same
try to
problem?
add the variable C and variable D, but it seems that when I change the D from Boolean to string, it doesn't register and it say like type error can only concatenate string, not Boolean to string. So that's the error
Oh,
I
okay.
get when
So,
I add C and D together.
all right, I got that error. So actually, you need to, here I change the values of variable D. So before I put it like true, right? But I change to at APU. Did you change the value of variables D?
Yeah, we did change, but we still get that error. I don't know why.
I think if possible, can you upload a picture to the chat so that I can see what kind of error it is?
So can I ask also? Are there
Yeah.
spaces between C plus and these quotation marks?
You say the
Yeah,
difference?
yeah. Have you divided them by a space, like every letter or every character?
No, I'm actually the variable C and variable D are string data types, and also so you define a string by using the quotation mark here. Anything inside the quotation mark is string, right? So actually you can add anything inside the string here and it will print out. But I want to have a space, so I put a space between the quotation mark so that I can have a space in the output.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So if you have that error, then maybe I will answer that error later on our thread on our website. Then just try to focus on the next one. Was you able to run the functions, the print functions, and yeah, the print functions? Is there any problem with that? All right. So if there is no problem, then let's continue with the input. So for example, if you want a user to enter their name, you say name, right? So and then you want them to input their name, right? Then you will have a little box below. You enter your name there. Okay. So actually you can write a string inside that function. For example, enter your name. You will have the output like this, enter your name, and then you enter your name here, right? Okay. So if you want to check for the length of your input, let's say you have data and it will return the output of 4, which means that you have 4 characters in your input. All right. So for example, comparison operators, let's say 5, 10, C equals A plus B, right? So what is the result of the function print C? It will return 15. You can also do the same with string. For example, I have a variable D with the values data, and I want to multiply that. Then I will do like this. So as you can see, the output is data, right? Yeah. And you can do like a here. You can do all of the basic comparison operators. I'm sorry, this is not operation operators. Okay, so let's try some comparison operators. So this is only computation operators, I guess. Okay, here. And for example, you want to check if A equals to B, and you put 2 equal signs here, and it will return false, right? If A here, false, right? So if you say A is not equal to B, the output is true. Okay. Or C is greater than B, the output is true, right? Those are comparison operators. So for Boolean, let's say you want to check if A is greater than B. Using Boolean function, it will tell you that it is false. Okay. And you can combine Boolean comparisons like this. So Boolean A and C is greater than B. Let's see. The result is false, obviously, because A is cannot greater than B. Okay, let's move on to tuples. So tuple, it contains integer, float, and string, and it is written as comma separated elements within parentheses. So for example, you say you have one tuple one, and you open the parentheses, and you put some number there. Right? And you print tuple one. It will return the tuple. So how about the list? The list is represented with square brackets. So let's say you have this list of string, integer, and float. When you print it, it will return your list with square brackets, not with parentheses. So remember, parentheses is for tuple, square brackets for lists. You should use the right brackets for those data structures.
In the list, what is that logo, Tan? Is it just you have given at the beginning? What is this? What is that print? Yeah, this one. Yeah. What is
this
it?
one?
Yeah. No. This one, where the cursor is blinking.
Where's cursor blinking? Here?
Yeah, this one. Yeah. The after I101. Yeah, this one. Correct. What is it?
Actually,
No.
that
After this,
the one
after this.
the output.
No. Here. I mean, after 101, the first character. What is it?
Okay. List L. I'm
oh,
sorry.
It's list L. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
All right. All right. So as I said before, you can the list is mutable, which means that you can add more elements to that list. So for example, you want to extend the list, right? But actually, I don't recommend you to assign to use the variable list. So let's say list one. So you want to put another element to the list, then say science. And you print list one. It's error. Wait.
When I have just ran your first command,
Okay.
I have got like name list one is not defined. That error. Why is that?
So you need to actually you need to copy the list above and paste it to the code the code cell that you are working on. So actually I also got that problem.
Okay.
But you try to put the list on that code cell, then you will be fine.
Okay.
So as you can see, you have a new element in the list, which is science, right? So that is how you can add or extend your list. And the same thing, if you want to delete the element, you use the delete function. So delete here, the list one, right? And say you want to delete the 6. So please notice that 6 here is not an integer because it is inside the quotation mark. Anything inside the quotation mark is string. All right. So you want to delete the 6 and you print the list. Wait. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's say you can delete it by indexing. So the number 6, the 6 in your list has an index of 3. So you just put a number 3 there. Okay, so let's move on to set. So for example, the set is represented inside with the curly brackets. As you can see, the braces, the curly brackets. So you can convert a list into a set. So for example, you have departments list here: APM, APS, GSM, and APM. I think I missed one department here, but and you also see that APM is repeated 2 times, right? It duplicates the APM. So you can convert this list to set using the function set, and you will type your list here, departments list, and then you print the department set. You will get a set. All right, so as I said before, the set contains unique values. So even though you have 2 APMs in your set, it will reduce to 1 when you print it. All right, let's just skip this because yeah, I will put it up on our website, and let's move to dictionary. How can you define dictionary? So let's say you open the curly brackets. No, yeah. And you have a key and a value, right? So for example, you have name and colon, and then you try to put your name there. And next you have your maybe measure, and then you put your measure there. Let's try to see. So it returns a list. So if in a data set, you will have a lot of keys and a lot of values. So if you want to try to find out to find the keys, you can use the key function like this. So for example, you try to find name. What's happening? I don't know. Oh, okay. So dictionary name. Oh, okay, I get it, right? So I need to do it here. Dictionary plus key. What's just happening? Okay, let's forget about that for a moment. I will try to put the answer on our website later. So let's move on to the if statement. This is what you will have your first exercise on. So let's think of if statement as easy as when you use the if in English, right? So if something happened, then something happened, or something not happen. So for example, I can say that whether. So for example, think about the grading system in APU. When you get 90% or higher, you will get a plus, right? So for example, score is 90. And if score is greater or equals to 90, this is your if statement. Then you put the colon after 90. So if your score is greater or equal to 90, print gray. So print A plus, right? Here, you will see it will return output A plus. So if you want to see some interactive thing, you can try to make the score as an input function. So you need to change it, change the 19, you delete the 90, you put the input function there. And actually the input function will return string. So you need to change that to integer because you want the integer here. So yeah, just change it like this and you run. So it will ask you, what is your score? So let's say if you have 90%, then you will get A plus, right? Okay, so next. So for example, it's not always simple like that. You will have A or B or C, right? So if you do not, you did not get a 90%. For example, you got 85, then you will get, obviously you get A. So here we have else if, but you will type it else if here, else if your score is greater or equal to 18 and your score is less than 90, then print A. Yeah, A, print A. So let's see, for example, you have 88, then you only get A, right? Say, enter your score. Enter your score. For example, I only get 87, then I get A. Okay, so let's say if you get a score lower than 80%, you will fail. Then else print not passed. So let's try to enter some number below 80. For example, 78. Then you won't pass the course, right? Okay. And actually, you can add more condition, else condition. For example, you want to make it more complicated. Score is greater than 70 and your score is less than 80. Then you get what? B, right? All right. So now your program is more complicated. Let's try 78, 6. Then you get B, right? You can add as many else as you want. But remember that you only have one if and one else in one block of code for a simple program. All right. This is the same thing I did. All right. Okay. Is there any problem with the if statement here?
This is a statement I haven't got yet. Like the rest of the thing I've got, but this if statement I didn't understand.
I'm sorry, elif statement?
Yeah, Alif. Yeah, right.
Elif statement is like you need to satisfy the you need to satisfy exactly that condition in order to do something. Like, so you have if statement. If your score is greater than 90%, you will get A plus, right? Else, if your program is simple, else you will not pass. But you don't want people who have less than 90% fail. Then you say if they are not they don't have 90%, but their score is greater than 80 but less than 90, then they can get an A.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
One more thing. Like, if I really want to practice this LF later on, then how should I go for it?
I'm sorry.
If I want to practice this LF uh, later after this boot camp is over, then how I'm gonna do this?
So you want to put the elif after everything, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Actually,
after done with your class, if I want to practice this LF statement, how I'm gonna do this? I mean,
you want to learn more about elif statement?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, right.
All right. Then I will try to put some resources to the summary, right? Okay.
Yeah, that'll be very helpful because we need to do a lot of practice about all this part.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So let's move to the loops. So the loops will help you to repeat your code. So you don't need to write so many times. You only need to use the loops function. It will execute your code many times as you want. So let's say I want to print the word spam here. So I assign a value of 0 to the variable spam. And then I say y spam less than 5. print spam. So as long as as long as the value of spam is less than 5, it will print spam here, right? It's just like you repeat your code. So instead of so like this, let me try this. So instead of you print spam here, and then you print spam, it is very time consuming, right? If you want to print like 100 times, then it will be very time consuming. So when you want to repeat you want to repeat something many times, then you use while loops. Okay. So for example, for loop. So we have while loop here, and let's say just focus on while loop for now. I will delete the for loop here, and you can learn it later. So you have, let's talk about the break statement for while loop. So you want to ask for name. You create a variable name here, right? There's no value in that variable. So why you say why you want to ask for the name? You want to ask for the correct name. For example, the name of so you want to program your smart door to recognize only your name. Then you need to write this program. So if y name is not the same as your name, for example, your name, then print, please enter your name again, right? Okay. So you need to have an input function here so that you can input your name. And you add the break statement. So if you input the correct condition, correct name, then it will stop. And you can print thanks. All right. So let's see here. It asks enter your name again, right? So can anyone tell me what after you enter your name, what is happening?
Please enter your name again. Yeah.
Right. So for example, I enter my name here. It say thanks, right? It will so it say you please enter your name again, right? Why? Because that is not your name. That is not what you want the program to recognize. So you need to input your name here, like your name. Is there any problem with that? All right, thank you, Dylan. The print must be lowercase. Okay, so let's do one more of this white statement. So why true? So you want to say your program that why it is true, why the condition is true. You will repeat the loop. So for example, you want to ask for your ID, and input, enter your password, your ID, right? So if password is not is different than ABC, what, like say, yeah, ABC, then you will continue to print, you continue to print the, you continue to ask the question, enter your ID. If the ID is correct, you print correct. And next, you will ask for your password, your password, and input, enter your password. All right. So if your pass, which means password, equals to, let's say 1, 2, 3, and then you break the loop. The loop will stop, and then you print thank you. You print welcome. Okay. Let's try to run it. All right. So let's enter your ID ABC here, and it will say correct. Then enter your password 1, 2, 3, and then welcome, right? However, now please run the code again. Run again. So now please enter like XYZ. It will ask you, what happened? Is different. I'm sorry, here it must be XYZ into your, okay. So actually you need to use the equals in the if password equal to ABC, then continue. If not, that it will repeat the function, the statement.
Han, could you please tell me one more thing? Like the way you are making this code by putting ID and password. Normally, how does it happen? Like when in regards to APU, there is maybe hundreds and thousands of password. So how actually this code will take automatically the password, associated with the name?
I mean, I think that is a different story here. Now we are just trying
Okay.
to learn some very basic and simple programming.
Okay. All right. Okay. No worries.
Yeah, for APU system, you need a database and then other more sophisticated program.
Now,
So
but
now
actually, Han, my question was like, if I put this code, this code is good enough to take whatever necessary ID or password needed from the database, or that should be a different way.
I don't think so. You need a more complicated code.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. This is just a very simple programming to let you have some idea about the while loop. So if your answer is not correct, it will ask you to enter your ID again until you answer the correct answer, right? And then it can lead you to the next step. Okay, so now let's move back to our PPT. I think we just runs out of time now, but let's bear with me for the next 10 minutes. All right, so actually, initially I want you to do some exercise here. Um, can you still stay here for another, like say 15 or 20 minutes? Is that okay for you? Or are you busy? If you can stay here for another 20 or 25 minutes, 20, let's say 20 minutes, then please say yes.
Okay.
Okay, if you have to leave, that's fine. I will try to put everything on the website. But for others, if you can stay like 20 minutes, then we'll continue for a while.
I'm sorry for disruption, but for to count your attendance, we will need you to fill in the post-session evaluation.
So I think you can send the link here later to you, or you can send the link now. You can send the link to the survey now for people who have to leave.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so I think we will continue discussing data processing next week. But for now, let's